Right. Good morning, everyone. All the online students, is it the screen is visible? All the online students, could you please everyone respond in the chat window? I request all the online students need to respond in the chat window. I request all the online students need to respond in the chat window. Okay, perfect, guys. Right. Let's continue then. So the one we have been discussing about these particular programming concepts here. As part of these particular programming concepts, first we got understood in printing with the statement. First we got understood in printing that particular respective of statements, and then you will be taking with this particular respective of variable keywords. After that we got understood class, and then method, and then object. Continued on that, we discussed about data types and variables. Then we got static methods. Along with that, constructor access modifiers. Then we got conditions. Now we are understanding that particular loops concept. So let's go with in more detail what exactly mean by these particular loops concept and how exactly we can perform this particular loops concept here. Okay. If I'm just taking with this particular perspective, if I'm just taking with this particular perspective of loops concept, in simple, we can mention that to perform to perform same step for multiple times. To perform same steps for multiple times. So nothing but we can consider that repeated activity. Repeated activity. So if you want to be get perform same steps for multiple times, then you will be taking with the help of loops concept. Okay. So that particular loop concept, we got different type of loops. We got different type of loops here. In that, you will be taking with while loop, and then you will be taking with that particular do while loop. Then you will be taking with for loop. Then you will be taking with for off loop. So while working this particular loop concept, we got in a while loop, and then do while, and then for loop, and for off loop. As usual, as we mentioned that as part of this particular programming, if you want to become the more expertise of this particular programming, you can apply my formula, or we can say that our formula here. If I go with you want to become expertise in programming. If you want to become an expertise in programming, you need to be get go with that particular perspective of formula. So what exactly that particular formula is? We mentioned that followed by two steps here. If I just go with that particular formula followed by two steps. So the first step, we clearly mentioned that what exactly the use or will be taking with purpose of concept. What exactly use of the concept or purpose of that particular concept. Then you have to very clear about syntax of the concept, which you will be taking with syntax of the concept. That means whenever you are doing with the programming, so whenever you are doing with the programming, you need to go with in understanding what exactly use of that particular concept and purpose of that particular concept. In the same way, you will be taking with syntax of that particular concept. Okay, so let's see here. Let's look into that how it will be working. Use of the concept, or it will be taking with the purpose of the concept, or it will be taking with syntax of that particular concept. Okay. Now, continued on this, if you understand what exactly use of this particular loop, first understanding is the concept of loop is to perform same steps for multiple times. To perform the same steps for multiple times, I will be taking with the help of loop concept. In that, you will be taking with the while loop. What exactly the while loop is? We can say that first check with condition. First one is check with that particular condition. You need to go with that particular respective condition and then enter and print the statement and print the statement. So here, if I just go with this particular respective, right. So if I just go with this particular respective of while loop, it will be mentioning that first it will be taking with checking with condition. That means it will be just looking to that particular condition. Okay. So here it will be taking with that particular respective condition. Condition is true, then it's need to be get enter into the loop and it will print the statement. Assume that condition itself fail, it will not enter into that particular loop. In the same way, you will be taking with this particular do while. If I'm taking with do while, this is first print the statement. First, print the statements and check with condition. First, print with the statement, then it will be taking with that particular respective condition. So first, it's need to be get printing with the statement and then taking with that particular respective of condition. Okay. Then you will be taking with this particular for loop. This is all the things in one statement. All the things in one statement. So in the same way, you got an for of loop also that it will understand. So here, other ones you can mention loop based on data or values. So this is what you will be taking with your first understanding. So I mean, first you need to very clear about what exactly use of that particular loops here. In that, if I'm taking with this particular while loop, if I just go with this particular while loop is first check with condition and print the statement. So while loop, first check with condition and print the statement. Do while, first we have to print with the statement and check with that particular condition. For loop, we can say that all the things in one statement. For of loop based on data or values. Based on that particular requirement, as a programmer or as a user, we need to understand. As a programmer or as a user, we need to be get understand that how exactly we can utilize these particular options here. So this is how we need to be get go with in utilizing these particular concepts here. This it will be taking with this particular loops concept here. Okay, let's go with understanding with the syntax. Let's go with in understanding that particular syntax here. First, we will be taking with this particular while loop. Okay. If I go with the syntax, first we will be writing condition. Whenever you are working with the while loop, whenever you are working with the while loop, first it will look into that condition. First it will be looking into that condition. Condition is true. Condition is true. Then it will be printing with the statement. Condition is true, then it will be printing statement. After that, it will go with that particular increment or it will be taking with decrement. So this is what it will be taking with in working that particular respective while loop. If I'm just taking with the while loop, whenever program executed, first it will look into that condition. Condition is true, it will be printing with the statement. Then it will go with that particular respective increment or decrement. So that is how it will be taking with this particular respective of while loop. Let's see the example how exactly you will be working this particular respective of while loop here. So as usual, you will be creating with that particular new file, providing that particular file name, providing that particular file name, mentioning that particular loops, providing that particular file name, you will be taking with that particular loops dot it will be taking with ts, which it will be taking with that particular respective of loops dot ts. Okay, now let's see how we can write it. So first we are defining one particular variable. First we are defining one particular variable. Then it will be taking with that particular respective of while loop. For the first time, it need to be get go with condition. First, it will be taking with condition. Condition is true. Condition is true. Then it will be entering into the loop. Then we got plus plus. Consider as a increment operator. The plus plus consider as a increment operator. Previously, in yesterday's session, we discussed about equal symbol. Equal symbol has been considered as a assigning assignment operator. Single equal symbol is considering that assigning assignment operator. Then you will be taking with double equal to. So double equal to considering that comparison. Double equal to considering that comparison. In the same way, we got a plus symbol. That particular single plus symbol, that particular single plus symbol consider as a addition or concatenation. Single plus symbol consider as a addition or concatenation. Then you will be taking with 2 plus symbols consider as a increment operator. That means it will increment the value by 1. So it will increment value by 1, that it will be taking with increment operator. Now look into this particular loop. First we got an a value is 10. 10 less than 15. 10 less than 15, condition is true. As condition is true, it will print the a value. Then it will increment 10 plus 1, 11. Again continue the loop. 11 less than 15, condition is true. Then it will be printing. So till the time of condition has been failed, till the time of condition has been failed, it will be continued that particular loop. Now, according to your understanding, if I'm executing this particular program, what will be the first value and what is the last value? Online students, if I'm executing this particular program, what will be the first value and what will be the last value? Okay, right. Let's see here. If I just go with this particular one, to execute that particular program, we got TSX, TypeScript Executor. TSX, TypeScript Executor. Then it will be taking with that particular TypeScript Executor, providing that particular file name, mentioning that example underscore. It will be taking with loops.ts. Example underscore loops.ts. Okay. Now you can see that it will start from 10 and continued up to 15. So getting started from 10 and it will be continued up to that particular 15. So this is what it will be taking with the help of this particular respective loop concept here. Okay. Now, in the same way, we got this particular do while. So how we got this particular respective while loop? In the same way, it will be taking with this particular respective of do while. Let's see that. If I just go with this particular respective of do while, how you will be working with this particular respective of do while. So one, it will be taking with while loop. Then it will be taking with do while loop. While working this particular do while working this particular do while, first it will be printing that particular statements. First it will be printing with statements. After that, it will be taking with condition. After that, it will be taking with increment or it will be taking with decrement. So while working this particular respective of do while. So while working this particular respective of do while, first it will print the statement. Either condition is true or not, that is a secondary. Condition is true or not, that is secondary. First it will be printing with the statement. After that, it will be taking the condition. Then it will go with increment or decrement. But the condition, after statement, I can do increment. After increment, I can go with this particular condition. That can be done vice versa. That can be done vice versa here. See the concept. While working this particular one. So while working this particular while loop, first is statement. That is mandatory. After statement, I can do increment. Otherwise, I can go with the condition. Both vice versa can be done. Let's see here. Now, the same program I just mentioned, a value 20. Now, I'll run the program. If I run this particular program, what is the result you will get? What will be the first value? What will be the last value? Online students. If I'm executing this particular program, what will be the first value and what will be the last value? Okay, now we can see. If I just go with this particular one, program will execute. Program has been executing, but it is not giving any result. Program has been executed, but it is not providing any of that particular result. Because if I go with while loop, while working with the while loop, first it will be looking into condition. First it will look into condition. Condition fail. As condition has been failed, it will not enter into the loop. As condition has been failed, it will not enter into the loop. Now the same thing, let me try with do while. The same thing, let me try with do while. Let's see here. Okay. So if I just go with this particular do while, first it will print the statement. So first it will be printing with the statement. Condition is true or not, that is secondary. But first it will be printing that particular respective statement. Now we can see here. We got in a do while. First it will print the statement. It will go with the increment. It will check the condition. Condition fail, then it will take an exit from that particular loop. Now, if I run this program, what is the result you will get? If I run this program, what will be the first value and what will be the last value? First value and last value. Right, exactly. Let's see here. If I'm executing, it will be printing with the result is 20. Because in case of while loop, there is no result at all. But while working with the do while, at least I got a result of 20. Because for the first time, without looking into any condition, for the first time, without looking into any condition, it will be executing, printing that statement. After that, it will be looking into that particular condition. That is what it will be taking with that particular respective of do while here. Let me try in changing with the value will be providing that particular respective value. Now we can see here will provide that particular a value is 10. Now if I run this program, now if I'm executing this program, what is the first value and what is the last value? Right. So which will go with in getting printing that getting started from that particular 10 to 15. So it will continue in getting started printing with the A value from 10 and continued up to 15. So this is what it will be taking with this particular respective of while loop. Sorry, do while. Previously, we got in a while loop. Now it will be taking with do while. No confusion at all. We clearly mention while loop. Use of the while loop is first check with condition. Use of the do while first print with the statement. So that means based on that particular program requirement, as a user, we need to be get understood what kind of that particular loop concept need to be get used. So this is what it will be taking with this particular perspective of while loop, and then it will be taking with do while. In the same way, it will be taking with that particular for loop, which it will be taking with that particular perspective of for loop. So while working that particular perspective of for loop, mentioned that all the things in one statement. So what exactly that particular syntax, how you are performing all the things in one statement. That is what it will be taking with this particular for loop, which it will be taking with for loop. First, it will be taking with initialization. Then it will be taking with condition. And then it will be taking with increment and decrement. First, it will be taking with initialization. Then it will be taking with the condition. Then it will be taking with the decrement. And then it will be taking with that particular statements here. So this is what it will be taking with this particular perspective of for loop. I mean, whenever you are working that particular for loop, it will be taking with all the things in one statement that it will be taking with for loop here. Okay, done. So let's see that how exactly we can work with this particular for loop. If I just go with this particular for loop, first I will be taking with for. Then I will be taking with initialization. So I will be taking with initialization. Let I equal to 10. And then I less than or equal to 20. Then you will be taking with I plus plus. Then you will go with console.log of I. So while working this particular for loop, everything provided in one statement only. First we got an initialization, then you will be taking with the condition, and then you will be taking with increment or decrement and printing that particular respective value. Okay. This is what I will be taking with this particular perspective of for loop here. Okay, let me run this program. If I'm just executing this program, what is the result we can expect? What is the first value and what is the last value? For this particular program, what will be that particular first value and what will be last value? Online students, first value and last value. Right. Since simple, it will go with that particular execution. See the execution, how it will be done. So all the statements will be executed. Now, if I just go with this particular loop, it will start from 10 and continued up to 20. It got started from 10 and then continued up to that particular 20. So this is how you will be taking with in working that particular respective for loop. So in this way, I will be taking with the help of this particular for loop. If I just go with this particular for loop, we can mention that, we can say that all the things in one statement, which I will be taking with all the things in one statement. But here in this program, at a time, it is incrementing only one value. At a time, it is incrementing only one particular value here. But now the requirement is at a time, I want to increment that particular two values. At a time, I want to increment that particular two values here. Let's see that. For example, first I want to print with the 10. 10 plus 2, 12, 12 plus 2, 14. Every time I need to increment that particular value will be 12. Let's see that. For that, we can go with plus plus. Consider as a increment operator. Otherwise, we can go with I equal to I plus 1. This is also, it will increment with the value by 1 only. Either we can use that particular increment operator, or we can go with that particular expression statement. Either we can go with increment operator, or we can go with expression statement. Both are same. If I'm executing that particular, both the results has been seen. We can see here. You will be able to see that that particular both the results has been seen. Okay. So it got executed from 10 to, which it will be taking with that particular 10 to 20. Now we need to go with increment by 2, then in simple we can mention I equal to I plus 2. So we can mention I equal to I plus 2. Okay, let's see here. Now this time, every time it will be incrementing the value is 2. So first is 10, 10 plus 2, 12, 12 plus 2, 14. So every time it has been incrementing that particular respective of value will be 12. So this is how it will be taking with, it can go with in having this particular respective option. So this it will be taking with in utilizing this particular loop concept here. Now, while working this particular loop concept, it can be any loop. So while working this particular loop concept, it can be any loop. We done with that particular plus plus, consider as a increment operator. In the same way, assume that it will be taking with that particular minus minus. Consider as a decrement operator. We will be taking with plus plus, consider as a increment operator, minus minus, consider as a decrement operator. Just by changing the operator, if I run with the program, let's see. I just change with the operator. If I run with the program, see the result, how you are getting with the result. It is continued that particular infinity. It will be continued that particular infinity because the condition is not getting matching. It will be getting continued only. So here, in case of this particular one, to stop the execution, you can use Control C. To stop the execution from the keyboard, you can use Control C. So whenever you are taking with the decrement, first should be highest value. Whenever you are taking with the decrement, first should be highest value and the last should be taking with lowest value. First should be highest value and last should be, that particular lowest value. Now we can see it will be executed in the proper way in a reverse order. It will execute it. First we got that particular 20. So which will be taking with that particular 20 and then got a decrement which will be taking with that particular 10. So this is how we can utilize this particular concept of increment operator and then taking with decrement operator. So as part of that particular program requirement, as part of that particular program requirement, you will be taking with. So as part of that particular program requirement, we can go with and utilizing these particular loops concept which you will be taking with while loop and then do while and then for loop. There is no confusion at all. You have very simple understanding. If the requirement is first you want to check with condition. First you want to check with the condition, go with while loop. And first you want to be get print with the statement, then you will be taking with do while. All the things in one statement, you will be taking with this particular for loop. We got for of concept. For of concept, it will take some time to understand. To understand these particular concept, to understand these particular concept, first you need to very clear about arrays concept. If you want to understand that particular far off concept, first you need to very clear about that particular arrays concept. But before going with that particular arrays concept, before going with that particular perspective of arrays concept, we need to begin understand another concept, that is what you will be taking with the keywords, right with the heading, mention that keywords, mention that break and continue. First we'll understand these particular keywords. After that, we'll be discussing about arrays concept and then we'll be taking with for off loop. We'll be discussing for off loop also, but first we'll complete in understanding these particular keywords. After that, we'll be taking with arrays and then you will be taking with that particular perspective of that particular arrays concept. So let's go with these particular keywords. So what exactly the functionality of these keywords? See here. In simple, functionality of break keyword. Condition is true. Condition is true. It will totally exit from statement or condition or loop. Condition is true. Condition is true. It will totally exit from that particular statement or taking with condition or taking with that particular loop concept. Okay. In the same way, you will be taking with this particular continue keyword. Continue keyword is mentioning that condition is true. It will totally condition is true. It will totally condition is true. Condition is true. It will totally sorry, just a minute. Oh, it will exit from it will exit from current process and continue with next level. Okay. If I go with this particular continue, if I go with this particular continue, condition is true, it will exit from current process and continue with next level. So what exactly mean by this particular break keyword and what exactly mean by this particular continue keyword? Let's understand both the things here. Okay, let's see here. Now, we'll go with regular example. We'll be taking with the help of our for loop only. So we'll take with this particular example of for loop only, taking with new file, mention that example, it will be taking with keywords dot ts, which I will be taking with keywords dot ts. Okay. Now it will mention. So here it will be taking with first it will be writing with for loop. Then it will go with as usual. I will be taking with let. Okay. It will be mentioning that I equal to 10 and then I less than or equal to 15 I plus plus. This is regular for loop concept only. We have not done any new thing. So which we got that particular regular for loop concept. Okay. Now, if I go with this particular perspective of for loop, if I just go with this particular program, if I'm executing this program, what is the first value and what is the last value? Online students. If I'm executing this particular program, what will be the first value and what will be the last value? Right. So first value is 10, last value 15. So it will go with that particular first value is 10 and then it will be taking with that particular last value continued up to that it will be taking with 15. Okay. Now see the concept here. Let me run with the program. I'll execute TSX TypeScript executor example underscore. It will be taking with that particular keywords dot ts. Okay. It will start from 10 to 15. Perfectly okay. Now my requirement is I don't want to continue the loop up to 15. I don't want to continue the loop up to 15. Once I value is reaching to 12, while executing the loop, if I value is reaching to 12, then we need to take exit from that particular loop. I value is reaching to 12, we need to exit that particular loop. Let's see here. I'll go with I mean, will be writing if condition. I'll mention I double equal to 12, then it's need to be get go with using that break. See the concept now. We got in a for loop. Inside of the loop, it will be taking with the condition. Inside of that particular loop, it will be taking with that particular condition. So our requirement is once I value is reaching to 12, immediately it's need to be get go with the break. Functionality of break keyword, it will totally take with the exit from that statement or from that particular loop. Now we can see. If I run this program, what is the first value and what is the last value? If I run this program, what will be the first value and then what will be the last value? Right. Let's see here. Let's see that. See the last value. It will print only 11. 12 will not be printed because see the logic you written. You're saying that once I value is reaching to 12, immediately it's need to be get go with the break. It will break that particular loop. So that it will be taking with up to that particular 11. So in case if I'm taking with the 13, in case if I'm taking with that particular 13, now we can see here. It will continue up to that particular 12. It will be continued up to 12. So functionality of break keyword. Functionality of break keyword is it will condition is true. Condition is true. Totally it will take with the break. I mean totally it will exit from that particular statement or from that particular loop. Okay. In the same way, you will be taking with that particular continue. So now let's go with this particular continue. Now we can see if I'm adding the continue, the statement got a disable because according to the programming, break and continue keywords, break and continue keywords, we cannot work together. Either you can work with break keyword or you will be taking with continue keyword. I mean, at a time, we can use only one keyword. At a time, we can use only one keyword. We cannot go with together. So which I will be taking with break keyword and which I will be taking with that particular continue keyword. At a time, you cannot work with together. Either you will be working break or you will be taking with continue. So that is what you will be taking with that particular break keyword and then you will be taking with continue keyword. Now you can see if I'm executing the program, see the result, how you will get a result. If I run this program, you got 10 to 15. But see the 13. 13 is not printing because that condition is true. It will break that process and continue from next level. Break keyword, totally take the exit. Continue keyword, it will break that current process and it will continue from next level. So that is what it will be taking with that particular respective of break keyword and then taking with continue keyword. That means as part of that particular programming, as part of that particular programming, we need to be get understand what are all that particular options need to be using. So this is how you will be taking with that particular break keyword and then taking with continue keyword. This you will be taking with this particular respective of conditions, and then you will be taking with loops concept. Still we are pending with one more loop, that is what we required in a for off loop. But if you want to go with the for off loop, I will be taking with this particular respective of this arrays concept need to be understand. Then it will be taking with that particular for off loop. So that will be looking into that. And along with that, as we got in a lot of concepts, you need to be get go with in taking with the practice only for interview. Only for interview purpose, you need to spend some time in taking with the practice of the TypeScript programs here. I mean, these programs will help you only for interview purpose. Adding the two numbers, check even number, odd number, swap the two numbers, finding the largest of three numbers. I just given the logic only. You need to take right with the whole program and need to be get take with these particular practice here. So these particular things will help you that only in clearing with the interviews here. So these particular PDF file I'm just uploading in your respective Google Drive. So in your respective Google Drive, I'm just uploading that particular respective PDF file here. So whenever you are getting with the time, whenever you get in a time, you need to spend some time in taking into the practice of these programs also. And to make these particular program, not only these particular programs here, to take with that particular interview more easy, will be conducting the extra TypeScript sessions. I mean, we are already discussing the TypeScripting, but along with that, only these program like reverse of the string, palindrome number. I mean, some interview related programs, you will be having the TypeScript sessions will be there. So that particular TypeScript sessions will be started from 23rd. Will be started from 23rd July. The timings will be 8 a.m. to 9:30. The timings will be 8 a.m. to 9:30. Offline sessions, online sessions will be there. You will get in a communication of that particular sessions. So you can attend from offline or online. That is in a free of sessions here. It's not like any extra charges here. The duration will be 1 month. That particular duration will be 1 month of duration will be there. He will be discussing it only programs of TypeScripting. He will not explain any theory or playwright, just for the interview purpose to get in a more comfortable what are all that particular interview programs are there. He will be taking with the discussions to make that particular interview process will be very easy. So that is how you guys need to be get take with more practice here, and already most of the people are available in that particular WhatsApp channel. Is that everyone available in WhatsApp channel? As I mentioned, all the job notifications and all the updates you will be getting from, right? So which you will be getting from that particular respective of these updates will be posted in that particular WhatsApp channel. All it will be posted in that particular social media pages. So this is what the requirement I think already I mentioned yesterday. So any openings from the Suresh IT, This is how it will be posted here. So we'll be trying in a lot for the placement activities, but you guys need to be very strong with the technical. If you want to become any strong with the technical, you have to continue the practice. You can utilize the offline lab, you can utilize online lab. Whoever having the possibilities, better suggestion, please come to the offline lab. For the people whoever having the possibilities, you can come to the offline lab. That will make you more comfortable to take with the practice. And then, as I mentioned, like as previously, we are conducting one particular, that particular meet also for your batch. For your respective batch, we are having that particular one connect also. That is what it has been scheduled for tomorrow. Like whoever having with the possibilities, just you can think about that particular connect also. Like tomorrow, 12:30 to 1:30. It's not like any session or anything. Just we want to make that particular connectivity between the students, because nowadays, because of these particular online, that connectivity is missing, that practice and job related information, the placement related informations are missing. Because of that, just we are trying to make with the connectivity. So for whoever the people having with the possibilities, you can attend these particular tomorrow connect. By that, you will get a chance to have a connectivity with your colleagues here. So take care about, have a plan of this particular one, and please do the regular practice. Even though you are attending the sessions in online, for whoever the people having with the possibilities, you can come to the offline lab and then you can take that particular practice here. Okay. So tomorrow I will be taking with the arrays concept, and then we'll be taking switch concept, then need to be go with the OOPS concept. Still lot of things need to be understand. Step by step we'll be discussing, but please continue your regular practice here. Okay. Clear everyone? Right. Perfect. Online students having the questions, you can carry on your questions. Right. Online students having the questions, you guys can raise your hands.
Welcome to NC Music World. Bluetooth mode. Enter.
So the interview session was recorded morning.
Yes, Rajat.
The interview session was recorded morning session 8 to 9:30. Is that recorded?
No, it will be in the office premises only. Yeah.
Okay. There is no online.
Not in online. So that is an offline connect meeting we provided. We are trying to take with the offline connect. Okay.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow morning, sir, it's after 23rd.
Tomorrow your
23rd.
session will be continued. So even 11:30 to 12:30, your session will be continued. So after 12:30, we'll be having a connect with all other students here.
No,
Okay.
sir. The 23rd onwards lecture. Interview preparation. 23rd onwards.
Right, 23rd July. 23rd July, morning 8 a.m. to 9:30. That will be the batch timings.
That is recorded.
No, recordings will not be available for that batch. Either you have to attend with the online or you have to attend the offline. In case of the timings is not feasible, again after 1 week or 10 days, we'll be coming up with the evening batch. You can attend that particular batch. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Carry on, Swagita. Carry on.
Yeah. So I have a question like after TypeScript, we will be doing the playwright coding, right?
Yes. After completion of this TypeScript, we'll start the playwright.
I cannot hear you, sir.
I mean, after completion of these particular TypeScript, then we'll be getting started with the playwright. Okay.
Yeah, because in interviews they're asking the playwright.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go with the playwright, first you have to clear about these concepts. I want to make playwright is more easy because all these particular concepts will be applying in the playwright. That is the reason first I'm making you the comfortable with these things here. Then I'll be taking into that particular playwright concepts here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So tomorrow you said the 12:30 will be the connect, right? So since 12:30 connect will start after the class, you are saying. So offline student should be present at 11:30.
That
Right?
will be the better. Yes.
Okay, fine. So both classes
Okay.
and connect will be continued after the class.
Yes. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next.
Suresh, I have a question here. How do we use this continue keyword in real time? Like, can you just explain me with an example? Like, if I think of the what break statement, if I get some pop-up, I can use the break statement is where I feel. So, how actually can I use the continue where it comes into picture?
Now assume that you are executing the 10 test cases. One test case has been failed, but it's not like totally taking with the exit. That failed test case, it has to stop that process and it has to continue with the next level. Then we can go with writing with the condition by using this particular continue keyword. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Next. All right, guys. No more other questions, right? Okay, then. Please take care about the practice, guys. And please think about the tomorrow connect also. So whoever the having the possibilities, you can please be available by 11:30 for the session. By that 11:30 to 12:30 will have in a session and 12:30 to 1:30. So we'll have in that particular connect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone.